What's poppin'?
Peace.
Peace. What's goody?
All right. They called you vegetarian Laz. What's going on with you?
Chilling like a villain, man. Staying low, playing slow, staying out the way.
Okay. Have you rediscovered how to operate this media thing, man? Seem like you shaking up some things online. I see you always in my searches and shit like that, and I'm tuning in. What's going on?
Yeah, man. I made the deadly mistake of uploading a jail story or two, and now dudes got me gassed up. You heard? So I'm just putting in that work. Real talk.
Right. I'm loving the content for real. You got a real good you real comfortable with storytelling and narration and shit like that. Like you really,
Yeah.
really, you know what I mean? Your message is conveyed really, really accurate and clear and shit. What made you start really, really, punching the gas on it after the feedback from the first couple of joints?
Yeah, I mean, all of these stories are basically chapters out of an audio book that I like, an unfinished audio book that I recorded. I had like 26 or 27 chapters done, and basically I had got through all of the jail stuff. Not all of it, but most of it. So I started excuse me. I started feeling terrible that I wasn't putting this audio book out. You feel me? So I said, yo, I gotta start at least putting some chapters of this out there, like, you know what I mean? So that's what I did. So it's all from the audio book, but now I'm just gonna do it like a video book. You heard? Like a vlog. I'm gonna
Hmm.
tell a story through the camera.
What's your most popular video so far? What topic is the most popular?
I think the joint with the most views is I think it's either between one HDM, the riot in HDM between the Bloods and the Dominicans, and how the race war
Damn, you
started with
breaking up.
Green up north. I'm breaking up.
Yeah, you breaking up a little bit. Let me. Yeah, you breaking up. You good now?
Yeah, you can hear me.
Okay. Um, yeah, the channel was crazy. First and foremost, why don't you introduce yourself to my listeners for those who might not be familiar with you, and tell me how much time you served.
ST.LAZ, Brownsville, Brooklyn, Pottersfield, General. I did 6 years. I did 6 years state time, but I was on and off the island about 4 or 5 times. You know what I mean? So that's why I got Rikers Island stories and up north stories, because I was in and out that. I only did one state bid though.
Right. How much of your time was spent as an MC during that 6 years that you served?
I started writing rhymes in like 9/7. So it was like just the last 2 years of my bid. The first 4 years I really wasn't doing too much. But the last couple of years I started writing. Word up.
Tell you is my favorite video that you have, I believe, is the story about the smoker, the crackhead. Tell my viewers the types of guys that you encounter in the prison system and how some of these people be really, really gifted and really, really resourceful during their incarceration, but on the streets and shit, it's a different story. Some of them go home and it just spin out of control.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And that's just proof that drugs do ruin lives. Like, people have the misconception that everybody that's a drug addict was like always some deadbeat loser type of dude. That's not true. Like, I seen drugs take people from. I knew strict Jehovah Witness people that their kids couldn't even curse, come outside after 7 o'clock, nothing. But when crack hit, they was smoking. You understand what I'm saying? Next level smoking. So it's like crack did actually alter some intelligent people that could have did some good things in life. I've seen crack ruin it. Crack ruin. There's a dude from my hood named Ronald Ward. Like, anybody from Brownsville from back in the days, they remember, son. Ronald Ward, he was a community activist. Like, he was a district leader, all of that. Like, son used to make us go around Brownsville back in the days and clean up the whole Brownsville. You understand what I'm saying? Like, on some community service type stuff. And his son ended up getting killed in the crack game, I think. And basically, that broke his spirit, and son started smoking. And he died eventually, but he was smoked out. And it's insane because this dude was the biggest Brownsville community leader ever. Like, nobody wouldn't do nothing in front of Mr. Ward. If dudes was just smoking, they was cuffing that when he came by. You feel me? So to see him, to find out that he got smoked out and died, like, and all of that, that's big business, bro. Them drugs is big business. Like, it could happen to anybody. Real talk.
Throughout your incarceration, what year did you go up north?
I went up top in the end of '93, and I came home in '99.
So you basically, if you went up in '93, you basically watched the whole UBN thing in its infancy stages.
Yeah, I mean, I left Rikers. I went up north in Rikers Island when it was just starting to form, like when it was just popping. And then by the time I got settled in a couple of jails up north, I was hearing about it. You understand? Then I was seeing it.
How long was it before you started to physically see it? Like time period wise, from leaving Rikers Island and hearing about it, you know, you doing time up north, you hearing about, you know, this shit coming or whatever, till you actually started physically saying, okay, they're here and they cutting motherfuckers.
'95, when I was in Franklin, it was a couple of dudes. I forgot this one dude name that he had came through, and he was like the most blooded out dude I had ever seen so far. You feel me? And I just remember rumors being in the jail, like, yo, they gonna try to do something to this dude, because Franklin was like a predominantly Latin king in the Yetta jail. But I don't think nothing ever happened to son, because son was pretty holding it down pretty much. But in '95 is when I really started seeing like dudes coming through tatted up. You understand what I'm saying? And stuff like that. And it started getting real. But when I went to Green in '96, that's when I saw the active war that was actually going on, where it was actual bloodshed and people getting stabbed and cut and almost killed over that gang stuff. You feel me? '96 is when I saw it all.
Green is a max jail, right?
Now, Green is a medium, but is a max jail called Green Haven that people get mixed up. But Green is a medium jail.
Okay. How long was you at Green?
I was in Green for I think 2 years, '96, '97. I think I left in '98, like early '98. I think I left.
Is that the jail that's populated by the young boys? Is that the jail, or that's Kasaki? Is it Green?
Both of them. Kaksaki is the adolescent max jail, and Green is an adolescent medium. But it's like three or four adolescent mediums, like Wyoming, Green, Washington, and like Cayuga. Those is young boys jails. You feel me? But out of all of them, Green is the biggest, and it's probably the most notorious because a lot of people come from Kaksaki to Green. You understand? So Kaksaki is a super wild jail. So people come from Kaksaki, either they try to take over Green or they get tore up in Green and go back to Kaksaki or whatever.
Oh, so people that come to Green from Kaksaki, they can't be they don't be in population and shit long. They're unruly.
I've seen dudes come from Kaksaki that was getting crazy busy in Kaksaki and was respected and known in Kaksaki, but when they got to Green, the traffic in Green moved so fast that they really couldn't adapt, and something ended up happening to them. You feel me? Not that they were suckers, but when you coming from the max and they throw you in a fast-paced moving medium that's moving at 100 miles per hour, it's a little overwhelming to somebody who just was in the max for 3 or 4 years. You understand what I'm saying? So I've seen dudes come from Kaksaki with that attitude, like, yo, I'm coming to Green, I'm taking the whole Green over. I was getting busy in the cat, and then they come to Green and get cut or stabbed immediately. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, then I seen some dudes come from the cat and take the spot over, or try to take the spot over. You know what I mean? So, you know, depends on the individual.
Okay, how was you able to refrain from becoming a part of a organization during your incarceration?
I mean, you know, I was out once I got knowledge of self when I was like 19 or 18, like that was it for me. Like I never really wanted, you know, I'm a student of every culture and every
Right.
religion, and you know what I mean, but once I got knowledge of self, that's it. Like I'm not joining nothing else. Like I already know what my square is, my foundation is. Like I'm good. You heard? I'm just God body for life. Like
No doubt.
you
Peace.
know what I mean? But I know a million dudes in gangs and dudes that wanted me to be affiliated with gangs. And there was a point in time where I was running around with dudes that was affiliated with stuff. But overall, I know where the gang stuff ends up. You know what I mean? So I just stood away from that.
You said you was at Green during a war. How long did this war how long did this war last? And who was it between? I need you to be detailed.
Well, you know, at the time, you know, when you come up north, you don't know where they're gonna send you to. So if you was blood and you went to green in like 9-6 or 9-7, anytime between 9-4 to 9-8 and 9-8, green turned into a Crip jail. The Crips made an alliance with the Latin Kings, and basically they overpopulated the jail and it became a Crip jail. I was just speaking to somebody who just came home from Green, and now they said is a blood jail now. You understand what I'm saying? So eventually the Bloods did get control. It was a YG jail. It's that type of place. It's always changing and jumping. First it was a YG. It went from Crip to YG to Blood. Like the jail is always. And then the funny thing is, whoever's the politics of gang culture in that jail, it directly affects the streets. So whoever's in control in Green is gonna be some type of power movement out here. You understand what I'm saying? But as far as the war that was going on back then, it was just
Yeah.
Bloods trying to come into jail because they was just getting sent there, and Latin Kings, Nietas, and DDP dudes, Dominican gang, they just they was trying to nip it in the bud, bro. Like they knew that if Bloods came into jail, they would eventually take over. So they was just trying to get them. It wasn't even nothing personal. They was just trying to get them out the jail before you turn around one day and it's 30 of them. You understand what I'm saying? So it was just a war like that. So
It was wreck on site with them for them coming into the jail.
now, like I said, it was some Bloods that came into jail and they blew it up immediately because they
Yeah.
knew, and people already told them, listen, if you land in Green, don't unpack your shit. Just blow it up and get out the jail and save your life. You understand what I'm saying? Real talk. And some dudes didn't listen, and they went there and they like, I'm trying to lay low, and then they end up getting touched. And then some dudes, they seen they checked the temperature of the jail when they got there. They seen that it was infested with Latin Kings and Nietas, and they knew they were smart enough to say, I got to get out of here. And they cut somebody in front of the police or stabbed somebody in front of the police to get out the jail. And then they went
Yeah.
back to Caxsackie, and then they end up in the jail where they ain't got to be looking over their shoulder every 2
They can
seconds.
live. Right. Who are the YGs?
I mean, you know, these is younger dudes that's way after my time. But YG's was a very, very big gang in New York a few years ago, like crazy. The feds came and locked up a whole bunch of them. There was a bunch of big things. I don't want to speak on dudes, gangs and stuff that I wasn't affiliated with too much because I don't know the ins and outs of dudes' histories. But I just remember it was a point in time where, you know, YGs and YBs basically ran the whole New York City. I mean, it was ugly out here. The feds made a attempt at dismantling these gangs. You could read about it too. It was all in the papers and everything. Like FBI sweeps, YG gang in the Bronx, stuff like that. Few people I know went down with that sweep. Few
Okay.
people I know went down with that sweep, shit like that, man. But you know, overall, they trapping dudes off with the gang culture stuff, like the
Like a
government.
month.
It's all a trap off. I was explaining that to one of my mans locked up for a body right now. Now, I mean, I told son, I ain't want to get too crazy talking over the phone, but I told son, I said, listen, because he fighting that body, you know, I mean, you know, lawyer money be rough out here. I said, listen, sometimes when you want a miracle and you want to get out them walls, bro, you're going to have to sacrifice something big. You heard? You're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to give up something. You feel
Yeah.
me? And that's how it be sometimes. Like you gotta let go of some shit before it's too late, bro. Because they will have you doing 100 years, bro. And when you doing that 100 years, trust me, no matter what organization you was in, you gonna regret being involved when you doing
Right.
that 100 years and your kids out here getting raised by next dude. You gonna feel different.
When you was up there, did you come across Thomas Cross or any of them types of guys?
Now, I don't think I was in. I wasn't in jails. I didn't run. You know, the state is mad big. Like New York got crazy jails. So I was in like 6 or 7 jails, but it's like 50 of them joints. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, dudes. I was hearing dudes like Killer Kev and these dudes. Of course, these dudes' names ring bells all through the state, all through my hood, Brownsville. You feel what I'm saying? So I been knew who these dudes was before YouTube and all of that. I knew who Killer Kev was just from growing up in the Ville. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So, know what I mean? Yeah, I didn't run across. I was locked up with a lot of legendary dudes. Some dudes I don't like to mention because they went on to do things to other people, and I don't want those people to have feelings that
Type of
I
way.
like. You feel me? Yeah, because you know, big serious things to people. You feel me? So I be chilling sometimes with the names, but I can name a billion legends from Brooklyn that I was with.
Who was the nicest rapper up there? Who was the nicest MC you encountered up north?
Like
Give him somebody give him somebody who's booked, who's like doing 50 or like never coming home and just be tearing niggas up. The free world ain't gonna never hear about the guy, but he a phenom up there in the mountains and shit.
one dude that was super nice that I'm sure son got to be home now because he only had 8 and a third of 25. But it used to be a legendary rap group up north in the early '90s called Seven Up, and he was one of the Seven Up. They was in Caxsackie, matter of fact, and he was one of the Seven Up. His name was Guess. He was from the Bronx, like Jackson Ave in the Bronx. No, he's from Simpson. He's from Simpson Ave in the Bronx. My son Guess. Son was an animal. You heard? An animal. Like I haven't ran into too many dudes that was an animal like that. But once I started writing rhymes, I was an animal too, my bro. Like I was running down. Like I didn't do a lot of battling in the streets, but in jail, I was a battling ass dude, bro. And in jail, they battle different. It ain't no dissing people and talking about their mothers and kids because you'll get killed. You
Oh
feel
no,
me?
none of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to just battle on who could say the slickest shit, like who could say the flyest shit out the side of their mouth on some street shit. That's how we battle. So I used to be destroyed. I was the type of nigga, if you came into jail and I heard you rap and you running around telling niggas you nice, I come to your crib. I come to your dorm. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Yo, as a kid in there rap, tell him to come to the front. You understand what I'm saying? I'd be like, yo, you said you the nicest nigga in the jail? Yo, come to the yard at 6 o'clock. You feel what I'm saying? And
Right.
I was barbecuing niggas, barbecuing them. You feel me? But my dude Guess was probably one of the nicest rappers I ever knew. And then I gotta say, Lucky Dawn from my hood, son. He was one of the first dudes when I came to Green that spit a verse for me, and I was shocked. Like, what? Niggas rapping on a professional level like that? Like, you feel me? My son my son Pow Wow from LH, my son Glock from Tilden, my son Hamo, my son Trey Deuce, rest in peace, my son Squeak. Like, I'm talking about, I'm not just naming dudes that's my mans. I'm talking about dudes that was really, really nice rapping. You heard? My nigga
Right.
Fab, my nigga Chuck Burns. Like, it was talent. It was sad how much talent was in there. Real talk.
Do you find yourself? How do you come up with the criteria for the videos that you upload? Like, you just like, okay, I'm gonna just talk about this today, and that's what you go with, or you got this shit sectioned off.
You know, in the 5% Nation, we say um wisdom brings forth understanding. So sometimes when I'm speaking, stuff is coming back to me. So it's like talking about it, it just makes me remember certain things that I wouldn't remember unless that camera was rolling. You understand what I'm saying? Like the camera puts me under pressure to get the story precise. You feel me? So that's why sometimes you hear me making little corrections and stuff like that. But sometimes that camera puts me under pressure and I'll be like, yeah, that's what happened. You understand what I'm saying? And it's making me remember details and elements of the story that I thought I didn't even remember. You feel me? Names and stuff like that. Names are starting to come back to me of people and stuff. All that, like, it comes from speaking.
Did you encounter anybody from the civil rights era doing time? Any political prisoners, Black Panthers, or Black Liberation Army members?
I don't think so, man. I was in Comstock when Larry Davis was there. You feel what I'm saying? And at the time, his story was pretty political, and it still is. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Still some funny,
Yeah.
fishy business about how he died and all of that. You feel me? But Larry Davis was there. Pappy Mason was there. You feel me? I only got slight glimpses of these dudes, but it was
Because
crazy to be in the.
they don't be in population. Them niggas don't be in population, right? Of
I think
course.
at the time, both of them was in population. You feel me? Both of them. And then, you hear rumors like, yo, such and such is crazy now, and this and that. Like, sometimes, man, these police, they'll drug you up. Like, they'll hit you with that
Yeah.
Thurazine. Like, if you wilding out too crazy, they will
Yeah.
hit you with that
So,
Thurazine, bro. They
so
tried to
Pat,
give it to me one time. I was like, hell no.
how they try to serve it to you?
Like, after I had,
Prescribed?
let me see, this was when I was super young, too. Oh, like I told a story on how I told them dudes that if they sent me to the box, I was going to hang up, thinking that this was Rikers Island and I could get away with
Oh,
that. And they sent
yeah.
me to, they sent me to the insane asylum. So now I mean, it was a terrible situation. I got a story about it. So when I got out of there, they asked me, they was like, "You want medication? Like, you want Thurazine?" I was like, "Hell no." Know what I mean, and I bumped into a dude from my projects that they had on Thurazine, and I remember I saw something on Rikers Island. And I seen son. I was like, "Yo, son." I said, "Yo, what up?" And he looked at me and I was like, "Yo, what up? It's me. What up?" And his son just looked through me like he
Yeah.
didn't even know who I was. And niggas told me, he was like, "Nah, son, they got son on that shit." You heard? I was like, "God
Wow.
damn, I didn't know to do that. Like, that shit is a liquid lobotomy." You heard?
Right.
That shit dangerous.
Explain to them how you know in the streets you have guys who be notorious for spraying up shit, clapping up shit and shit like that. And when you go up into the mountains, you can encounter a guy. I notice you speak about the smaller spots like Binghamton and Schenectady and Utica and all of these spots. You'll run into a guy from places that like that who be buck wild. You know what I'm saying? And it'll take
Yeah.
it to one of the notorious niggas and shit.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Like, what they say, it ain't where you from, it's where's your gat. You heard? So it's like I met dudes from the smallest hole in the wall towns you ever heard of in your life, but they gave it up like they was from the South Bronx or Brownsville or whatever, and they was putting they hood on the map. You understand what I'm saying? But if you a real criminal, or like if you a real thug, or you a dude that's from New York for real, you're not stupid enough to believe that dudes ain't killers in Albany and Schenectady and anywhere you go, anywhere there's black poverty,
Yeah.
killers. You understand what I'm saying? Anywhere across the globe. You feel me? But I've definitely seen dudes from towns you never heard of in your life, holding it down crazy, man. I mean, doing their numbers in the jail.
Big reputation in the jail and everything.
Of
Got their
course.
name up there. Yeah.
Of course, you the good dudes, Albany. One of my mans was from Albany. Son got caught with 8 keys in the street, and he had a super lawyer. He only had like 8 or 9 of life. That's a long time. I'm not gonna say only because he still had an L behind it. But
Right.
they could have turned son lights out for them 8 keys. You heard? But son did like 10 years or whatever. But son was from Albany. Son was a super money getting nigga, super money getting dude. You feel me? And he ain't never showed nothing but bulletproof love to me. So that was my man crazy. And I had plenty of dudes that was from Rochester, Buffalo, Utica, Albany,
Right.
Poughkeepsie, Newburgh. Like Newburgh, little do people know, Newburgh, New York is the highest crime part of New York State.
I've been through
That's like,
there. I've been
Newburgh is like, yeah, Newburgh is like getting in a time portal
Yeah.
and just hopping out in 1989 in the middle of Brooklyn. Real talk. That shit crazy
Yeah.
out there.
They got
My
the
man got shot in
Jamaicans.
his neck out there. My man
They
got
got
shot in his neck.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't believe
Real
Newburgh.
talk.
Got the Jamaicans. They got the Bloods out there. The whole
That
nine
shit
yards.
ugly. But it's like this. What people don't understand is most of the people from Newburgh, the generation before them, was people that was living in the city that
Moved
moved
out.
up there because they offered dudes super affordable housing to move up to Newburgh and Poughkeepsie. So people in the city that can't afford to live here no more, they don't got nowhere to go. They move up to Newburgh and Poughkeepsie and all of those small little towns like that. And
Yeah,
it'd be the same type of blood. It's the same bloodline up there. You feel me? Real
yeah,
talk.
basically. How long did you say you did? 6 years?
Yeah, I did 6 joints.
Before you got to the adult system, did you do the juvenile courts?
Nah, you know, in New York, they charge you at 16 as an adult. So I caught my case as soon as I turned 16, and they charged me as a straight adult. So I went straight to adult prison. Rikers Island, they got a building just for. But once you leave Rikers Island, they just send you to regular adult prison. Even Green, that's adolescent jail. I say adolescent, but dudes be like, it's mostly 25 and under. So dudes ain't really adolescent; they just young adults. You feel me?
Got it. Okay. What you doing musically these days?
Man, right now, bro, since this show popped off, I can't remember the last time I got a chance to write a rhyme. I only been doing this for 6 weeks, you feel me? But I just dropped a brand new song with my bro Foul called Feel Me. I love that song. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
it says everything I want to say right now. The hook is bananas. It's made by DJ Payne One. Sun Beats be bananas. But I ain't put it out. It's just on some of the episodes of the show. I ain't even put it out yet. But soon I'm gonna have it on all streaming platforms. But it's called Feel Me. I just dropped another joint with me, my bro Big Lito and Crunchy Black. I love that joint. I got a joint with Gunna. I got a mean industry connect, man. So I be getting my hands on all type of stuff. But I got a joint with Gunna and a joint with Roddy Rich. I'm trying to push them joints, but it's like pushing those joints. The best promo is pushing it through the jail stories. So that's all I'm doing with music right now, pushing them through the jail stories.
It's a good idea. You got a nice vehicle going, man. As long as you can keep up these good ass stories and shit. Was you up there with any notorious boxers?
Boxers? Nah, man, not any notorious boxers, but I did know some dudes that they boxing skills was outrageous. You understand what I'm saying? Like I told a story about my dude boxing Choco. Nobody believes me, so I'm looking for somebody who was in the dorm with me when it happened. But I seen son do 1,000 push-ups straight. You feel me? Nobody wants to believe. Yo, listen. All right, let's scientifically prove this though, right? Son had 15 years in when I met him, right? He had 15
Right.
years in, right? Son was like 55 years old. So he had 15 joints in. Now, son had a salt and pepper beard, looked like an old dude, but physique-wise, his physique was 25 years old.
Yeah.
He told me that when he was in the max jails for his whole first 15 years before he finally came to Franklin, he said in his cell, he did 1,000 push-ups every single day for the last 15 years. Of course, you know, dude might have been sick or something, give or take 5 or 6 days out of 15 years. So,
Right.
dude, like I used to work out crazy, and I used to do 1,000 push-ups every Wednesday. Not in one time, but 100 a set with a good 2-minute rest, and I do 10 sets of 100, and I only did that on Wednesdays because it was crazy. But if a dude did that every single day for 15 years straight, I could understand how your body would be conditioned to
Adapt
not.
to it. Yeah.
But like I said, he did it 200. He did it in sets of 200. He did 5 sets of 200. He did 200. He laid flat on the ground, took 3 or 4 breaths, rested for a minute, and he did another 200. And he did 1,000. I seen him take a carton of cigarettes off a dude. Nobody wants to believe that's true, but eventually somebody that was in H2 with me, was that H2? It might have been 8. No, I don't think it was H2. I think it was L2. I don't remember, but somebody who was in the dorm with me is going to chime in eventually, and they're going to say I was there. There was
I know
50 in the dorm.
I know he did that. It be dudes that be freaks like that after doing all that time. There's no other way to describe them, and they be
Real
on
talk.
that, trying to break records and shit. Like the competitive nature in institutions is crazy. That's like the underlying energy under everything. People was constantly competing and shit, trying to outdress each other, trying to out hustle each other, trying to eat the best. Like,
Real talk.
yeah,
I was in Oneida with a dude that they called son Baby Jordan. And he looked like Jordan, had the baldy like Jordan, all of that. And son is one of the greatest basketball players I ever laid two eyes on in my life.
I believe
Son was
that.
dunk. They called him Jordan because he was dunking from the foul line in the jail. You
Yeah,
understand? Like the jailer be coming to the gym just to see him do this. And niggas be
yeah.
amping him like, yo, go ahead, son, do it one time, one time. And son was jumping from the foul, and niggas was saying Jordan stepped on the foul line.
He
Son
did.
wasn't stepping on the foul line. I don't know if it was the same regulation. I don't know if it was the same regulation, ram and distance. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But son wasn't stepping on that foul line, my nigga. He was dunking. Dudes used to be like, yo, this dude's supposed to be in the NBA. What you doing in jail, son? You're supposed to be in the NBA. So in jail, you be surprised, man. The talent that
I played ball with niggas like that every day in the summertime when I was doing my tick. Yeah, I used to throw niggas like that, alley oops from half court and shit like that. Yeah.
word up. They don't
Them
know.
niggas be stuck though, man. Like niggas be stuck, man. Some of the most talented niggas you'll ever meet, man. You'll develop a relationship with them, and one day you might make the mistake of saying, "When you getting out, man, I gotta fuck with you on the streets," and he be
Real
like,
talk. Real talk, though.
"I ain't getting out." That's crazy. That's
You
crazy.
know, I said that in a story the other day, and I edited it out and took it out because I was talking about this white kid that I met, and I said I hit him with that line. I said, "Yo, son, we got to get up when we get out in the streets, bro." And son was my age. We both was 17. We was in Comstock,
Yeah.
and son was like, "Yeah, son, I ain't going home." So I was like, "How much time you got?" He like, "Yo, I got 15 to life, son." He said, "You know what I mean? I did some jealous shit, and I shot and killed my girlfriend, and I was facing 25. I'm not even gonna play with these dudes. I just copped out to the 15 to life. You feel me? So I'm probably gonna be here for another 25, 30 years, my bro. You understand what I'm saying? Son was 17 years old. So I learned
Yeah.
from then to stop saying, yo, I'm gonna get up with you. You feel what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But
Yep.
I took
Yep.
that out from the joint because I didn't want to feel like, I mean, that's still my man. I love him, but I don't want to. I don't know the details of his crime. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? So, but that was my bro. He was 17. He had that 15 in life.
I did that exact same thing with my man. His name was Ty, and he had 70 years. And I didn't know it. We was playing basketball together, eating, sharing food. We worked together in the kitchen just for years, and I didn't know that he was stuck. Some of them niggas that be stuck, they just you can't see it on their face. You wouldn't know. You would think they was going home. You know what I mean? They keep up with the music. They keep up with the latest. You would think that they going home
Word,
to buy that
word.
outfit that's seen on TV and shit like that. Like they speak like that, and it's like, what streaming sites is your music available on right now?
They on everything. They on all streaming sites, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, all of that good stuff, as well as the jail stories. You can listen to the audio of the jail stories, download them to your phone and all of that on the Gen Pop podcast. You can just put ST.LAZ Mark Ward or just ST.LAZ Gen Pop or whatever, and you'll find it. I got a podcast with my bro Mark Ward that we do. That's the behind the scenes of the Gen Pop episodes. We just getting it started, but it's getting popping.
Have you got a chance to collaborate with anybody else that does similar stories like yours yet?
Nah, not. Oh yeah, my bro Stamina Savages. Like I just did an interview with him too. That's my bro. He another up and coming jail channel. He out in Jersey. Now I mean his stories is crazy too. He in here right now. I just saw him hollering. But me and him gonna do something soon. And I'm willing to work with any and everybody, bro. Any and everybody that's a good dude. You understand what I'm saying? If dudes is
Yeah.
good dudes and they trying to get their bag, is enough. Is a listen. The state is a big place. Jail stories is people from all over the country. We could all get it. I'm trying to. Me and my bro M. Bags. We was talking about it. We trying to find somebody that got them Green Monster stories.
Let me
Essex
ask
County
you this.
Jail.
Why do
Real
you
fact.
think? Why do you think jail content is so interesting or popular? Because even when we was in jail, we would watch Lockup. Ain't that some strange shit? Is that
Yeah, that's
strange?
it's
Like
crazy,
we
but
would
the
literally
reality.
watching Lockup and shit, man, on MSNBC and shit like that. Showing time, like what type of strange shit is that? We watch Shawshank, we watch Green Mile, like all
Hell
these
yeah.
jail movies and shit, and
Life,
you just
life. Everybody love life.
yeah, and they good money to
Real talk. But nah, you know what it is? What's sad is if you're black, it's a high or Latino, it's a high possibility that you are going to be in prison one day. It's fucked up that it gotta be that way, but that's the reality. So when you're black or Latin, you going to watch some jail shows. So just in case you end up in there, you know what to do, and that's the reality for us, man. It's sad.
Yes, yes. Who was the biggest? What jail had the biggest convicts at that you were at?
What you mean, far as working out, dudes?
Size, yeah. When I first came through, I came through. I was 19. I had to come through this old jail called Western. It's closed now. It's actually one of the oldest prisons in Pennsylvania. It might be one of the oldest prisons in the United States. But this one of them joints with the walls and shit, with the 40-foot wall and shit. You don't see nothing
Facts.
but birds and shit all over the top.
Facts.
I remember when we got there, I was of course locked up for a few days while they, you got to get your shots and go through all the tests and shit. When they let
Yep.
us out to go to breakfast, this is my first day in a real state prison, cafeteria, mess hall, whatever and shit. And they had some of the biggest human beings I ever seen in my life. I was
Yo,
like, God damn. I'm like, man, what is they doing, man? Why is everybody's shoulders so fucking wide and big? And it was because of the wide grip pull-ups. You find that out. When you go to the yard, you see 50, 60 niggas sitting around a pull-up bar taking turns and shit. So that's why everybody's shoulders is so big. But I was like, God damn, man. Like, there is
you know that.
niggas
Yeah, that's
that's
why
too
police.
big.
Remember one time police was trying to they was trying to get weights banned,
Yeah.
like because dudes was too brolic. Like they like
Too big.
how we supposed to put that dude in a box, cuff him up when he's 6'5", 270 solid muscle, like he punching through, he breaking through cuffs. That's why they had to make that black box, because dudes was breaking those cuffs, bro. Them
Breaking
brolic
out of
dudes, they was breaking those. You know what I mean? So it's ugly. But I was in Green. I was spread out different jails. I met a lot of serious dudes, but in Green, like dudes was outrageous. This kid named Big Shy. He came from DFY. He like 16, 17 years old. Son was him and his workout partner, this kid named Army Shah, and this other Muslim kid named Ab. Son, they was curling 315. Dudes could believe me if they want to, but I'm not saying, yeah, I'm not saying that they was doing that with perfect form.
Yeah,
They might have been swinging and rocking a little bit, but
yeah,
dudes was doing 5 reps and all of that with 315. And I'm talking about these dudes was like 6, like one of them was like 6'4", 5", maybe like 280 solid muscle. That's all they did was work out. And they was young, so dudes to be like, yo, stop trying to curl at 315. You're going to hurt yourself. And they was young. They don't get injuries. If I
yeah.
tried to do that right now, I'd be in the bed for the next 6 months, curled up. But these dudes was 17, 18, brolic, young. They was curling 315, bro. I'm gonna mention that when I do my recap of after I finish telling a certain jail story. I tell about the workout game that was in there. So when I talk about Green, I'll mention the kid Shy and these dudes was curling 315 and then dropping a plate off and curling 225 for the regular reps. Real
Yeah,
talk. It was
yeah,
bugging out.
yeah. They freaks, man. Niggas don't be having no nothing else to do. Niggas just sit there and just continue to break records, man. Like it be shit going on in the jails. Did they have flag football up there where you was at?
Did they have flag football? Yeah, they did. Yep. Yep. Because I remember my man was on QBQ where he was supposed to come out his cube, and his son used to have somebody sleep in his bed so he could sneak out to the yard and play for the dorm team. And I used to be tight, like, yo, bro, if you get caught, because in this type of jail, you couldn't get away with nothing like that. You get caught in that yard, you're going to the box, and they sending you to Clinton. He's like, yo, son, I can't let these dudes lose this game, son. Feel me?
Yeah.
He went to the yard, bugging out, playing flag football. Word up.
The sports is intense. The sports is intense.
Especially in jail.
Without it, yeah, without it, it would just, it would, man, I couldn't even imagine doing time without sports. That's all I did was lift the weights and play basketball my whole time. How was most of your time spent? What was your bid?
My
You say
first 3 years, yeah, my first 3 years, I was running around, just running around aimlessly. You feel me? I was, reading here and there, but I was young and just looking for stuff to get into. But after I got hit at my first ball with that 2 years, and I knew I had to sit for another 2 years, that's when I said, enough is enough, man. I got to get knowledge of self, because if I don't, I'm gonna go crazy. You feel what I'm saying? So I started studying my lessons. My enlightenment was in the jail. My uncle was in the jail with me, and he was like the head of the body. He was like the head of the guards. You feel me? And at the time, they wasn't giving nobody no lessons in the jail, because they was cracking down heavy, and people was getting tier 3s for having those lessons, and dudes was getting caught with the lessons and snitching, saying where they got the lessons from, and blowing up the whole spot. So they had a freeze on giving out lessons to just each and everybody. And I remember I got hit at that boy. I begged my uncle. I was like, yo, you got to give me the lessons, bro. I'm gonna lose my mind in here if I don't get into something. If I don't get my mind into something, I'm gonna go crazy. You feel me? And son finally gave. He was like, all right, I'm gonna bring you out the first lessons tonight, and I'm gonna tell a story about that, on how I got caught with the lessons. I mean, but it's a long ordeal with that. But after that first 3 years, that's when I started getting knowledge of self. And once I got knowledge of self, I was a monster.
no doubt. Who was the most knowledgeable 5% you encountered during your incarceration?
My enlightener was a maniac. They used to call son the big head scientist. Like son was like, I'm talking about son knowledge was crazy. You feel me? And it's another story that I'm gonna get into. Son did 7 years in the penitentiary, came home and got killed in 2 days. You heard? And that ripped me in half. Like, that tore me in half. I still ain't get over that. You feel me? Because this dude taught me so much, and then he went home and got murdered, destroyed me. You feel me? But him, another guard named Akbar, not Akbar from the Tomahawks that's passed away, but another Akbar from Brooklyn with the gold front in his mouth and the dreads. Him, my enlightener, and my other son Shah from Fort Greene. It's 2 shots. It's 3 shots from Fort Greene, but the one I'm talking about is the one that used to be Fruit of Islam. You understand what I'm saying? And my enlightener was from Philly. You understand what I'm saying? My uncle that gave me knowledge of self, he's from Philly. So all he talk about is Philly. But his family's from Brooklyn, so he grew up in Brooklyn and Philly. But he was in Philly because he was Nation of Islam. When the father left the nation and started the 5% Nation, he moved to New York to follow and walk with the father. You understand what I'm saying? So my enlightener was the truth. You understand what I'm saying? So I got taught by old guards. Like, I was 17 getting knowledge of self, 18 maybe, from dudes that was 50 and up, 40 and up, no younger than 40. You feel what I'm saying? So
Right.
they wasn't playing with me. They wasn't playing with me. Like, I'm getting knowledge of self right now. One of my sons from my project that I grew up with. Know what I mean? I'm giving son knowledge of self now, teaching him the lessons. Real talk.
Mm-hmm. Did you know $500,000?
Nah, I didn't know him, but I was like, I'm the second biggest $500,000 fan in the world, because the first one is my son Bucker from my team, and
Yeah,
I'm the one who put him on the half.
That's my favorite rapper and shit.
Yeah, I'm a $500,000ologist. Like, I'm not one of these dudes that started listening to $500,000 when he died. Like, I'm talking about, I was up north. Let me tell you a secret. That song with him and AZ, Knowledge, the Green Wallies, All I See, My Mind,
Caller ID.
I learned how to write 16 bars by listening to, I learned how to format bars by listening to that Pieces of a Man album, but that
Yeah.
song in particular with that beat, Love is
Hey,
Love is the name of the song. That particular song is what basically honed my lyrical skills. Like from listening to him and AZ on that song, I had to say something crazy. So I kept writing verses to that song to pretending that I was the third verse on the song.
yeah.
In order to be on a song with AZ and Half a Mil, you had to write some shit.
Hell
So
yeah.
I would practice every day writing a third verse to that song until I had like 30 verses that I wrote to that song. Real talk. So
No
when Half
doubt.
a Mil got killed, I couldn't believe it. And my man Bunker, he never been the same since. Like when Half a Mil got killed, it kind of took his spirit of wanting to get on in the rap game. Cause he like, if a nigga could be that nice and get and die, I don't even want to do this shit. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So I still would, son, you know what I mean? You're a dope journalist, my nigga. You need to find out exactly what was the cause of his death, my nigga. Because I saw the documentary. It's wishy-washy with the
It is.
information. I
Oh,
heard it
like,
was suicide. I heard it was this. I heard it was that. I need to know, bro. For me to rap, I need to know. Because if he killed himself, that's gonna hurt me.
yes. It's so against everything that he said on a song. Like he
Exactly.
was so godly, so scientific, so tactical, so out of here that you don't think that he would be vulnerable or accessible to something like that.
Bro, if I listen to Go On, his song Go On,
Yeah,
I cry. I can't even listen to that without bursting in tears, bro. When he talk
yeah,
about how his pops left him, how his pops is a dope fiend, left him uptown in Harlem, and he had to
yeah.
get on the train and go back home like 8 years old by himself.
By
Son,
himself.
if I listen to that song, I will cry. I will boo-hoo with tissue sniffling and wiping
Yeah,
my face. You feel what I'm saying?
my
So
shit. Yeah.
for him to kill himself, that's too. I can't believe that. I'd rather
It's hard.
believe police killed him. I'd rather believe one of his mans, anything other than that.
Son,
You understand what I'm saying?
anything but that. Exactly.
Real talk.
Anything but that is logical. For real.
Real
Laz, I
talk.
appreciate your time, man. I ain't gonna hold you up. I gotta return some emails, man. The channel was crazy.
Appreciate it.
Continue the good work. I'm tuning in on the regular, man. I hope you don't run out of content because the shit is blazing hot. And I'm go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you at on the internet, and we're gonna get up out of
No
here.
doubt. Real St.LAZ. Real St.LAZ on IG. I mean St.LAZ on YouTube. It's not just jail stories. I'm about to tell my life story on what led up to me getting locked up, growing up in Brownsville, Brooklyn. I'm about to tell it all, bruh. You feel me? And I'm about to break down how I got knowledge itself and all the lessons one by one. You understand? So it's gonna get ugly.
No doubt. I appreciate you, my nigga. I'm about to get up out of here. Peace to everybody. Let me get a drop, my nigga, before we get up out of here.
Hey yo, this LAZ, Brownsville, Brooklyn, Z man, Suicide Polo with the ski man. I'm on Gully TV. You heard the realest channel on YouTube. You heard? Holla at me. Z boy.
Killed that shit. Killed that shit. I'm out of here. Peace, y'all.
Peace.